Hello, everyone. Welcome to Brainstorm, the show where we answer questions because the questions never stop.
Nice. Is that what the premise of the show is now? Really, it's
we
just
answer the questions because the questions never stop.
The premise has changed every episode.
That's pretty true.
Welcome to Brainstorm, the show where we go around to find America's top diner. Welcome to Brainstorm's Dinings and Dives.
I'm gonna start doing that from now on.
Okay.
And the premise will have nothing to do with the podcast. It's good. I like that.
Welcome to
Good
Brainstorm.
evolution
We're
of that
looking
meme.
to find America's next top model.
All right, guys. Brainstorm. We're doing BIONICLE G3. You know the drill if you're listening at this point. If you don't know the drill, I honestly don't even recommend listening at this point. I just recommend
Tune out right now.
Whoa, hold up. There's some new people who are interested in what we have to say. Maybe.
Right, so they should go back and watch some of the earlier episodes, or
watch hundreds of hours,
or wait for the compilation sort of like shorter form video that we'll inevitably have to make at one point or another, which should be coming sooner rather than later, because I cannot imagine that we are going to be.
This project only has so much sustainability.
Yeah, like we're getting close towards the end of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's where I'm thinking.
I'm Meso.
I'm Bar.
I'm John.
No. And today I'm going to propose the topic of our talking medicine for BIONICLE G3 and how colds and viruses can influence the people. Because I'm sick. It's a bit, don't you see? Doing a bit.
No, I got you.
I wasn't really sure how to respond to it.
Yeah, it's like the Lego Live thing vented on stage, where it's like, "Are we doing this now?" Okay, what am I?
Lego Live, Lego Live,
Lego.
No, mercifully,
I didn't get into the Lego Live thing until it stopped. Like I was like, "Oh, we're doing that." And
oh yeah,
and then Vince stopped, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
I'm late to the party.
Sure. How are you guys doing? And what are we going to talk about?
I'm okay.
Well, I just woke up like 2 minutes ago, and we are going to be talking about a bunch of MoCs.
Yes.
Okay.
We have MoCs.
I'm so in recovery mode.
Just like for full disclosure to the fans, we are kind of still in recovery mode from Lego Live. If you want to know more about that, go listen to the TTV podcast. I think episode 290, wasn't it? I think 290 or 289, one or the other. And also, I'm recovering from a cold. So if we're not like high energy like we usually are, that'll be why.
Are we
We're gonna try unnaturally high energy
sometimes,
which is sometimes like you currently sound at the moment. Unnaturally high energy.
It's gonna be fun.
All right,
okay. Just go.
Okay,
just go with it.
All right, so we're gonna we'll be talking about some MoCs today and also some general questions as we slowly try to get back into the groove of actually doing podcasts again.
Yeah.
So this will be a pretty chill, easy episode to follow, hopefully.
Woohoo!
So let's just jump right into it. First,
and as our live studio audience member Prentice says, just a friendly reminder: G3 is official.
It is official. It is coming out. We're completely endorsed and sponsored by Lego.
It wasn't at Toy Fair, which was weird, but you know it'll be there next time.
Which is weird because it's coming out.
We already established it's coming out next year, not this year. Yeah.
This set's already being manufactured and put into.
I feel like this joke is a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Yeah, maybe.
You feel it? You feel it?
I feel like
I can feel the lawsuit coming.
Okay, this is what I'm talking about the unnatural peppiness. Anyway, so first set we're going to be talking about today is by Cardax, who is returning again to make more set pitches here for the G3 project. This one is called Tiro and Neho Battle Packs.
I like it. Supposed to be $10 sets, above 100 pieces roughly, but still small.
Which is a fantastic idea.
Yep.
Very, very glad that he decided to go in this direction, and I feel like...
I forgot that my keyboard isn't working, so I was like, I copy-pasted the link to post to the patrons, and I can't click enter.
I got you, fam. Woo!
Hooray! Anyway, yeah. Good idea. I remember one of the very early times while we were brainstorming G3. Yeah, I get it, brainstorm. Haha. John, you were over here and we were at the Lego store and you were looking at the Nexo Knights battle packs and that was a big inspiration.
Mm-hmm. No, it was.
This is a really unique kind of evolution of that idea. It's not just minifigure packs. It actually has like kind of like mini MoCs, like mini builds here for like the Rahi.
Right. The Rahi, which I think is a really awesome idea that they're including Rahi alongside the Matoran. That's
Agreed.
Awesome.
Rahi are the Bionicle thing. They're the you know, so.
And it's also cool
it's
that
thing
these
that separates this line.
these characters are all really cool. I'm glad they can walk around and use their legs instead of just stand there like idiots with short, stubby legs. Glad that happened.
I mean, you could have one that just stands there with short, stubby legs because it'd be piloting Rahi, so it wouldn't really matter much.
Exactly.
That's true. It's true. If you had all 4 Rahi out, then you could. I guess you could do it. But fair enough.
Yeah, dude.
Now
you could just have them have stubby legs. It's not like minifigures can do much to begin with.
let's not do that.
They can bend their legs, Var. They can bend.
So Star Wars routinely does battle packs, but for an action theme comparison, another theme that very recently did battle packs like this was actually Legends of Chima in the last year. They had like these different tribe packs for the different animals. I think it was the saber-toothed tiger, the eagles, and the lions, if I recall correctly. I could be wrong on that. I'm trying to find a picture right now just for discussion's sake. Got it. And as far as how much those cost, I'm trying to find that out.
Eagle lion.
Yes, exactly. Can confirm. You can see the thing that these had, which was interesting, was they actually had flags on like a flag stand.
Like printed pieces.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's something we would ever want to do, but it was certainly something they tried to be different. Otherwise, it was just the minifigures. So I kind of prefer.
Yeah. One of the things that I felt was a downside to Chima was that you couldn't really customize those minifigures beyond what you got.
Nope.
That makes sense, right? Like you never felt like you could create your own original character with Chima.
Yeah.
So I feel like having masks in different colors and having different armor sets and like clothing and weapons and all that stuff, that was a huge thing of Bionicle. Everyone made their own original characters.
Okay, this is what I was looking for. These came out in 2015. They had 74 pieces, 3 minifigures, and retailed for $10. So his 4 minifigures in one 20-part scheme might not be viable. Yeah, however, it is unclear how much of that budget went towards the flag, if any substantial amount whatsoever.
I don't think the flag is as important to keep as part of the thing. I would much rather have a more fleshed out Rahi than a flag.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
I also don't think the flag is what made the bulk of that cost.
Well, I think it was a cloth piece, maybe.
Oh.
It was not a printed like Lego part, but it might not have been like that much.
Yeah, even still, that's valuing that flag at like $5.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know if it's that much.
Star Wars battle packs. They how much do they sell for?
Oh, it was
$2, right?
I'm wrong. I'm spreading fake news. It was plastic, like flexible plastic.
Wow.
Nice job,
Never mind.
dude.
Never mind.
Well, how like the Darth Vader transformation set?
Like 30, right?
$30? Okay, that seemed pretty small, kind of comparable to this, but I guess that must have been more pieces.
Darth Vader transformation. Let's find out. Oh, 25. Total piece count
more than I
of
would want.
282. So it's actually, believe it or not,
it's
good.
Actually pretty in line with this. Yeah. Okay. Cool. In that case, this seems pretty viable then.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I like the concept. I like the sets. I think these are really good and well done, and I like the price point. So
yeah, stamp a cannon.
I'm happy with that.
Let's put it down.
Can confirm. Would buy.
Can confirm now. Can.
I think like so these are we're getting into Civil War sets, but these are all things that we would want to release for a Bionicle line at some point. And so, because of that, I would say these designs are essentially canon until we like sit down and nail down what exactly each one of our sets is going to be and the price.
We're gonna need to set up like a release schedule, like when certain sets are gonna come out and when they're not, and what not.
Let's move to the next bit thing. The next thing.
Next bit thing.
The next bit thing is by Toa Noah Wafflemeister. He did the Kanayan Defense Team, which is another small set.
This thing is sick.
Set.
Oh, okay.
So it's pretty neato. Indeedo.
I like the yeah.
Yeah, it looks pretty in line with the battle packs that Cardex kind of suggested as well. So
yep,
and there's some very similar.
He calls this thing a Sky Viper. Which I
like that. Creative
One
idea.
of these people is Defalak and the Mari Torrid.
I like the more unique and creative Rahi. It's kind of cool to see. Like it's all as awesome as it is to see like Rahi that we had before, but it's also kind of cool to see new stuff as well. So,
Definitely.
Yeah.
With these small sets, you're kind of like, it's kind of difficult to say more than like you would buy this, a small set like this, but I do commend this particular thing for being an original Rahi design.
Yeah.
And it has the same colors too. It has like a consistent color scheme with like Kanai and whatnot. So thumbs up.
It's also not really easy to critique these because I like them all. You know, like, there's not
exactly.
much to critique on our end because they're pretty spot on for what we're looking for.
Right, I appreciate his use of mixel joints so you compose the thing.
It's part of those. It's one of those things where it's like I don't have anything else to say. It's doing exactly what I would want it to do for that price point. You know, obviously it could be bigger, but then it would cost more. So it's like for this price point,
exactly.
Yeah. All right. So moving on from that one, we've got the Mangayan Training Troop.
Oh
this
boy.
one was submitted by
also Toa
Wafflemeister again.
Yeah, Toa Noah Wafflemeister, which is a very interesting name.
I love that name.
Very iconic.
I'm
very
pretty sure we've said his name was pretty cool.
The Wafflemeister.
I like how there's like an S over the Mangayan thing. It kind of looks like a Superman symbol, except not really.
Oh, it's the Tower of Hope.
It's the Tower of Hope, right? So
now, I would be very curious for these models how many pieces they have, and if you design them to fit into a certain price bracket or not. Because I do notice that information is missing. Mm-hmm. So if you could maybe add that Wafflemeister, I'd appreciate that a lot.
Would be cool. Yeah, but as a whole,
this one I do feel like this one it's also small scale. It's also kind of a minifigure battle pack, but I do feel like this one's kind of using the pieces that you're given with a little less creatively, and it's a little more on the side of something that I probably wouldn't personally go for.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's kind of just a big tower.
Why does those blade pieces even have the spinning function? Like, what would that do? It can't reach enough of a distance to actually like defend anything. It's just kind of like a spinning blade for no reason.
Tower that spins. Maybe it's a clock tower or something.
Maybe.
Yeah, it tells you the time.
I do appreciate
all 2 times.
The Metru leg armor being used as like decoration. That's neat. It kind of adheres to the bricks well.
Yeah. It's a creative solution for combining the.
But otherwise, it is kind of plain.
Bionicle elements.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I do think it is definitely a lot more plain and a lot less Bionicle centric than I was hoping for. They can't all be, like super cool Rahi builds, but.
Yeah, especially the smaller you get. I mean, like I'm totally down for like doing a bit more small structure style builds like this one. I feel like this one's just a little bland, a little.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can we move on to this next one, which is something that, contrary to this one, I would totally buy? The Motara traveling.
No.
We're gonna skip completely.
Yeah, we're gonna skip that one. Human search.
Nice.
Too late. It's already up.
All right, fine. Motara Traveling Gang by Wafflemeister again.
Look at this. Look at this. Yeah, I think a lot of these are actually made by Noah Wafflemeister. He's actually done a whole set of them that was supposed to be like a work pack, basically, of what they do when they're at work. So each one of these sets we're talking about is one of the Motara.
So like world building ones. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly, which I love. I absolutely love that. This one is fantastic. I love the build here. It's really great. I'm trying to see. It's like he's just calling it a bug Rahi, but I just love the design of it. Something like I don't know.
Sand crawler. No.
Nope.
Star Wars.
I mean, it does look like a sand beetle of some kind, but like overall, I like how the build looks. I like how unique it looks. I like the other 2 characters. The only thing I would probably say is that there probably will not be any guns in the Bionicle universe.
Yeah.
we probably will not have that. So that is the only thing I'm seeing as like it's probably not gonna show up. But I'm sure they're a placeholder for. I mean, obviously, like the same way that the masks are placeholders for like if we were.
I mean, I'm sure they will have. I'm sure there will be stud shooters, right? Maybe not that the people hold, but that like
maybe. I mean, to be fair, I know Oomatu had that one concept. Oh, and here it is. This
is actually based off that concept. So
interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you know what? Maybe that was a little too. The flintlock pistols, the way they look, probably not. But they might have a stud shooter or some sort of like custom thing made.
Legos made flintlock pistols. Come on.
I know. I know that's what that's the PC's using. I'm just saying they wouldn't look exactly like that.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned. Do you have a different opinion on that?
I mean, not really. The guns don't necessarily bother me, but at the same time, I do kind of see where you're coming from, where it's like it doesn't really feel very Bionicle.
Yeah.
I think that Midax Sky Blasters and Kordak launchers felt very Bionicle.
I didn't.
Giant 1P. Yeah,
they came out.
I'm kidding. Those are like some of them my least favorite parts ever.
Cool. We are in agreement then.
All right.
Even though it was stupid, something simple like the Thornax launcher was way better because of how compact it was. Multi-piece. Anyway, yes, Search Party.
Yeah, who in Search Party? Also my Wafflemeister. This one is pretty cool. It's like a little like ski vehicle thing.
It reminds me very much of Kurok's thing, except from a good guy perspective.
It reminds me of like one of the older like Arctic sets or something. What's it called? Lego. One of the Lego Explorer type sets. You know what I'm talking about? I forgot the name of that line, but like there was an Arctic line where you would go and like there's a little headquarters and. Anyhow,
making it up.
Sure, fine.
Never existed.
Whatever.
This is cool. I actually, you know what? It's funny because we've obviously we've tried to move away from vehicles and focus more on the Rahi aspect of the sets, but I think at the same time we focus on Rahi so much that when there actually is a vehicle, it's almost.
I actually appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like them on occasion.
Yeah, so it's actually kind of cool to see a vehicle set here in this lineup, and I think this one works pretty well. It looks pretty in line with the aesthetics, everything else it's going. It's obviously mixing in those old classic elements with the new Lego system bricks. Or not new, but with Lego system. And I think it works really well. I like this.
Definitely.
There's the one picture he has is just a 2 flags, which is like, thank you, man. Really needed
2 flags.
Really needed that.
Actually, I like the flags. Yeah, I mean, it's...
Yeah, no, they're a good callback to Minogue, so...
Yep.
All
right, and... that is our last set to talk about for this week.
Is it?
Nope.
That's the last one you linked.
There's one more.
There's another one. It's a Kikinaldo pitch / Rahi design.
Actually, the other set I linked was Rock Racers, but there was also Kikinala. Yes.
Oh,
neither of those are on this list that you guys linked. The last one was a Human Search Party.
That was embedded, maybe.
Oh.
I think Discord only embeds a certain amount.
What? Discord, why?
It's weird.
What the heck?
In case Meso was a spam bot, he wanted to spam like 1 billion links, I guess.
But like, it embedded the general questions one. That's why I thought it was last. It went from
Meso posted that questions. Meso posted that next, right? And so it's a new message. You see?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever. Stupid Discord.
So which are we going to Kikinaldo?
I'm sure you already got Kikinaldo up.
No, okay, well, the next one was Rock Raiders, but if we're going to talk about Kikinala.
Oh, right. I totally get it.
Raffle.
Alright, cool. So, we're all confused. Awesome.
I'm sorry, audience. I'm sorry.
No. I'm talking about.
It's not your fault. It's Discord's fault.
I'm talking about the actual title, the Kikinaldo. So it's misspelled, but he had to change it because of the certain.
Okay, so are we skipping this one and going straight to Kikinala, or going back?
We're not skipping. We're not skipping. I mean, I guess we are if you're going down the list. This is the
one
we have it next. This is when we have it next. We're talking about.
So we're skipping.
Yes, we're talking. We're skipping it. Sure, fine.
Kikinaldo, let's go.
All right, G3 Kikinaldo. Rahi designed by Brickpillar. John really wanted to point out that it was Kikinaldo.
Shout out to you, Brickpillar. I keep calling you Brickplier, but you're the one who met at Lego Live. Yeah.
Well, because it's like it's like Markiplier.
Oh wait, no. He says he knows Kikinala is misspelled. He got to change it due to an inappropriate.
That's what I was saying at the beginning. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Just.
All right.
That's why I was like, oh, I get it now. That's why I was kind of like.
It's a very neat mock.
Right.
I really like it a lot. It's got.
Actually, I don't get it. Hold on, I'm gonna.
Just think.
Oh, my keyboard doesn't work.
I'll tell it to you when you're older.
Yes.
This actually has a really nice brick built kind of dinosaur-esque design, which I kind of wish that they did for a certain movie that's coming out, but instead they went with stupid giant plastic figures, which I'm okay with because I'm not going to buy those sets anyways. But for this one, I really, really admire this. I love how it kind of takes off that. It does look a lot more like a T-Rex than the original Kikilano. How'd you spell it? How'd you say it?
Kikalano.
I just realized I never said it before. Yeah.
Kikanala.
It's Kikanala, dude. It's in the movie.
Kikalano.
It's in the movie.
Yeah, do you know what the last time I saw that movie was?
A few years ago when we did our coverage.
Dude, it was like one of the most memorable parts of that movie, though.
Yeah,
I'm sure it was, Var. What do you feel about this?
I'm honestly still trying to figure out what the curse word is in this.
I just wait.
I haven't even looked at the set yet.
I'm not gonna tell
Wow,
you now.
Mark,
So
come on,
just, come on.
Wait, what is it? I don't get it. What could possibly be the inappropriate word?
Type it to him in
Oh,
our.
I see it.
Yep. Right.
Really though? What is it? Was it like censoring it?
It was censoring it. That's what our software does. We
Oh
gotta
my gosh! Why are our boards so stupid?
I don't know, man.
I hate our boards.
I hate it when stuff like that happens. Where I'm kind of like, just could you not? But like, there's no way to go around it. The only way to do it is remove it off the words list. So, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
We should just allow that word.
All right, sure. Executive decision. Are we allowing it on the podcast too?
We're allowing it. Yep, we're gonna do it.
Okay. I mean, it's a psychological turn. You know, you could be anal retentive.
Indeed, Lady.
That's something you learned in school. So
this kicanal is really cool.
Nope. Oh, that wave of regret hit me like a train.
The set's really cool and stuff. It's really neato and indeedo. I really like the scale, though. I wish if we're gonna do a Kikanala set, I think it should probably be bigger. I'm not sure if I'm settled on this one being a Kikanala.
It could be a baby Kikalano. Yeah.
Kikalano.
It could be a baby Kikano.
You're just pronouncing it something different every time we mention it. Oh yeah, it could totally be a baby Kikalano.
I love the Kikalano.
Yeah. I like when Rocket Raccoon drives the
This is my favorite Kikanino.
This is my favorite G3 Kikalano.
I love when Link starts out in Kikalano Village.
Oh, my favorite set was Lacan and Kikanade.
I love the Kikalondo.
Yeah, you know that movie, My Neighbor Kikado.
What would you do for a Kikalondek, Bob?
It's like this marks like a Kikanado Wangi. Man,
Isn't that
what was it called? A Krongi Wongi? Was that the
Krongi Wongi?
Remember those?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Man,
Just
boy.
15, Toa Lakan and the Kikalaba set. My favorite.
Kikanali delivery service.
Kikamano.
Alright, we're having too much fun with this. We're gonna move on. This
roll it back in.
We're gonna do a Kikanala. I'd want it to be smaller or bigger, not smaller. So this is
I
fine
like the
for a
baby
one, I suppose.
Yeah, baby sized.
Baby.
Why are you hating the babbies for?
We're gonna
baby Kikanaldo.
Let's talk about the forgotten Lego line that we are gonna bring back in Brainstorm.
Rock
Raiders. I mean racers.
These are very interesting, like pod racer-esque things.
The concept behind this is so fascinating and very ingenious, and I kind of wish that we had more time to like think about how this would work on a set basis, because I don't know if it can stand up by itself.
We kind of do. Oh, on a set basis. Basis, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'd have to do a deep dive on that and kind of design it. I do see, like, I do kind of agree. I feel like the set is a little lacking in terms of design itself.
Right, but the concept is so
the idea
fresh.
behind it is really good.
I love it. It's like they're flying around on these rocks and they have the wings out. It looks so cool and it's so unique.
Yeah. I think it's a really cool idea. It's sort of like they're taking their elements and their environment and using that and combining that together to make like this hobby, which works really well in terms of a world building aspect.
It's like prehistoric pod racing.
I love the idea of like they have Tumatoran and they had the flags and they run up and they like there's a little bit of like rock that's jutting out from the cliffside. So they plant it and then they jump off. They kind of like rip it off and then they soar around. That's how they get around.
What exactly? Okay, so if a Toa of air can lift rocks and move them.
Oh God, not again.
What does the Toa of stone do?
We can break them down to an atomic level.
No. Here's
between atoms and the rock.
So what happens is that the Toa of air is using the air to manipulate like stuff that's in the air. If it's in the vacuum, they can't do that. So like they're using air to like and wind to like blow up underneath the rock. The Toa of stone is drawing the rock to him because he can actually.
I mean, that's a really technical difference, but regardless, it looks the same.
It looks exactly the same. 100% looks exactly the same.
All right,
but, I mean,
cool.
we see Toph and Aang.
What does the Toa of Earth do?
That is why we rechanged it because it was stupid. What does the Toa of Earth do compared to the Toa of Stone? That was the weirdest distinction in Bionicle.
Yeah. I actually completely forgot we changed it for a second there, and I was like, oh yeah, we had a solution for that. Cool.
We had a whole, 4 podcasts.
Did we talk about the Kane house?
I
don't think we did.
I don't think we did. Doesn't sound familiar.
Darknova actually linked another topic in this topic, where it kind of goes back to another set.
Alright, do we have Matoran Master Roshi?
And I can't link it.
Come on.
I can't link
it. But it's the Kane house.
I share it with you. Because my keyboard isn't working.
Why isn't your keyboard working? What's going on?
I don't know, man. It was working when I went to sleep, and now it's not working.
That's some bad business, dude.
All right. Well, let me get this topic first. There you go.
It's made by the same guy. There we go.
And
I don't think we ever talked about this one before, but like the rock racing is actually like.
Now can we have we need a turtle? I'm like a cat person.
Can you not make in jokes that our audience might not get after the first bit? I get the first bit I got. That was sure, I understood. But now it's like you're bringing back the bit, and we already moved past the bit. That's all I'm saying.
I haven't moved past the bit. The bit is my
life. You're kicking the Naldo really hard, man.
I'm kicking the Naldo.
You really need to stop kicking the Naldo.
Look at that, I'm kicking the Naldos.
My God.
All right. So this is a set concept of a house in Kanai, essentially. So
right.
Okay. It's actually kind of interesting because it doesn't really match the aesthetic of Kanai. I wonder if that's intentional. Meso, you just like the Kami house in Dragon Ball. I kind of doubt it's intentional, but at the same time,
that was what I was referencing. Either way.
What I actually see this working as isn't really necessarily an official Kanai house from Kanai, as much as I see it being being Zack's little shack that on the ground level, because it's not floating on any of the islands, and you can see islands are floating above it.
Yeah.
It looks pretty ground blocked.
I can see that working.
Yeah.
It is a very commendable little shack design for being such a small parts budget, though. Gotta give it that. It's got a lot of little detailing in the mill right next to it, like the water mill.
Yeah. I think the water mill is a pretty good addition to it. Makes it look a bit more complete. And
the multicolored base plate almost makes it feel like a Minecraft set. One of the good aspects of Minecraft sets.
Yeah. I'm not sure I'm feeling it. I get what he was going for, because it kind of the white's part of the color scheme.
Yeah.
But it looks a little strange on the brown. I don't know.
And then I really like how he did the floating rocks. Just say.
Yeah, floating rocks are good.
People have done that too, and I don't know if it would work as well. I do like that. I think that stand could work for the rock racers.
Yeah, I do. So. Yeah, I like it a lot. I'm not exactly sure, because obviously it's not the most structurally sound thing, and I'm not sure if it's something that Lego would ever write off on.
We'll have to see.
It's kind of
what if the rocks?
we'd have to see.
What if the rocks around Kane are like not hollow, but they're like lighter, and that's what gives it the airborne movement. They can become airborne more than normal rock. Does that make sense? I don't think it does. Actually, now that I'm saying it out loud,
the element around the area can just lift up the rocks.
What's the element around the area? Like, how does that
The
work?
element of air. What do you mean? How does it work? Are you trying to apply like a real science?
No. I'm just kind of like, what powers that? Like, is just a region?
That's some awkward science.
The god of air.
Good grief. They got me. Okay. I want
Lord
to
of Air.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Remember, these are real entities.
Fair enough.
Awkward science powers it.
Okay.
Anyway, so that was the Kunai house. It's pretty neato. I do like it as Bing Zach's house. I'd maybe change a little bit just to kind of switch up the aesthetic a bit to kind of match it.
I love the Rock Racers idea. I think the Rock Racers need to be like fleshed out a bit more before I'm like completely writing off on it. But the concept is one of the best things I've seen originally coming from someone.
Yeah, conceptually, it's definitely one of the best pitches that we've had.
Yeah,
I think it does the most towards world building. It's really, really good.
All
right,
keep that up.
Last thing during the podcast, the Mockingbird made Liwa's glider a little polybag, and it's pretty self-explanatory. It's just a little glider that Liwa can hold
It's
actually
the
in the hand.
That's cool.
Pretty much.
I like it. Yeah, it's cute. It's small. Sure. Why
The
not?
two most interesting design elements of it is it actually has some mixel joints, so you can move it around, and also it attaches to his hands rather than his back, like you
mean
would think.
her hands?
Oh, my bad.
You
Oh.
sexist
Oh
pig.
my gosh!
I'm sorry. I didn't mean
How
it.
could you?
I'm sorry, Shiwa.
I think that's more offensive.
Anyway, that's all.
Interesting design choice to make it attached to the hands. I actually kind of agree with Kardix's comment. I feel like it should probably attach via the neck.
Yeah. Might be a little unstable if it hooks under the hands.
Yeah. But it's not too big of a deal. I like it though.
Yeah.
I guess the idea is that it's sort of like an evolution of his of her tom. Now I'm saying his because
You did it too.
Of her tomfas maybe. It's sort of like her tomfas can like transform into the glider or something like that.
That is true.
I get you. Like how like Aang's staff could turn into a glider too somehow.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty similar. So I don't know. Maybe that's
Fair enough,
the
then.
design.
I get the
thought
intent.
process going there. Maybe I'm not. I mean, like I could be just projecting that onto this dude's mock, and that's
Stop
not what I did at
projecting.
all. But
Okay.
all right, well, all right, cool. So we're gonna move on now. I believe that was the last set, right? That was the
Yeah,
official
that was the last
no?
set. Let's talk about some.
I posted like 5 more, dude.
Did you
No,
really?
I'm
I mean, you probably could have. I wouldn't know.
I didn't, I'm joking.
All right, cool.
We can
So-
let's answer some general questions, and then we'll like take questions from if we have time.
Say that, freaking.
I'm trying to suggest how the show's gonna go. But okay.
I was about to say we're gonna take some general questions.
Okay.
It's on the list, dude. I'm getting to it. I'm saying it right now. You cut me off just to say what I was going to say.
This is the good old topic by Auden and Ref 101993. You great person.
Meso, can you not cut me off just to point out useless information?
It's not useless. It's the person's name.
It's useless. This person's useless. It's just a joke. Anyway, all right. So what are these questions?
I'll read one.
All right. First
Unanswered
one.
questions. I'm just curious. What parts of Oomatu's map of Ataka are considered canon? I know the geography, the individual regions are, but what about more specific locations, such as Mount Vakama, or the temples devoted to the Element Lords? To which I tell you, nothing.
Yeah, I would say that Umatu's map design is 100% not canon.
100%. It was
Yeah,
a very
not a
useful...
single thing, I don't think, is...
It was placeholder imagery, but yes, it is not...
Right, as we fleshed out the world since then, you know, we need a newer updated map, so.
Yeah.
That being
I
said,
would say
there was a
Vens
lot
is
of
probably more canon, but I also think Vens isn't that canon. There's actually another topic. I'm assuming we talked about it at one point. That
Yeah,
went over
that
the
mapped out.
design of the... Yeah, I would say that's definitely more canon. I think the only thing that was wrong about that map that someone else made, if we could find the topic, that'd be great, was that the locations of... I think it was Kanai was wrong, because Kanai needs to be above Tiro, not on the other side of the map.
That's true.
Interesting.
course, if we're gonna say that Kanai isn't landlocked, like it could maybe like circle around the map, like rotate or whatever.
That's true, huh?
And then I suppose it would work. I would imagine that'd be kind of difficult.
I think so.
For
if you can find that,
though. Yeah. All right, but in terms of the question though, yeah, none of Oomatu's map is canon. It's really early design, really early concept there that I think at this point is pretty outdated. So. All right, let's move on to the next question.
All right. Will Karzani's mask work like the Olisi from G1? I think mostly.
I mean,
the Olisi's powers, as described, it's like it gives people the ability to project a mental vision into their and one or more beings' minds at once. So,
yeah,
I guess
it still fits pretty much as to what it would be doing now. I think really the only difference that we've kind of imagined is that it would also project like, or Karzani doesn't seem to really have a lot of control over that power in the sense that he's constantly being subjected to these visions of the future or these alternate futures that have essentially turned him crazy.
Essentially.
Yeah.
He's seeing multiple different possibilities. So I think Mask of Possibilities might be a better name than Alternate Futures.
Mask of Possibility. That's not too bad.
I don't know.
Actually, that
I feel it's more accurate.
Rolls off the tongue a bit better.
Yeah.
I like that. Mask of Possibility. Huh. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the actual abilities of the mask itself and what it does for Karzani, yeah, it's not really much different. Next question.
All right, next one. In the instance when we have conflicting information, which one should we consider as a canon? For example, a previous thread, we have that Rakshi are a fusion of Rahi and Matoran, but on a recent podcast episode, it is mentioned that it is the Mask of Time gone awry that devolves them into their half-Rahi forms. I don't think either of those are true.
Yeah, I don't think either one is right.
To answer your first question, the official canon list, while I do agree that a topic with a name like that should be trusted as the official canon source, it is unfortunately woefully out of date, and everything in that topic should not be taken as canon whatsoever. So no, they're not Rahi Matoran mixtures. However, I don't think we ever said it was the Mask of Time.
They're not mixtures in the sense that they were created by taking a Matoran and a Rahi and mixing them together. That's not the.
When we designed them, we did mix.
Yeah, they're mixtures in the sense that that's the concept. That's how they're being designed. Is that
they're animalistic Matoran?
Yeah.
So to actually answer your question, the actual origin of how the Rakshi, did we 100% decide on something yet?
We did mention beforehand the idea that the Mask of Time reverted them to like animalistic states. So that's probably what he means by the Mask of Time devolving them into their half Rahi forms. Because that was a thing that like we had talked to. Why does the Mask of Time turn them into these half Rahi type of
that does sound correct.
Right. So that's what I would say was where that's from. And so basically the way it works is that like on the previous.
I guess I must still be living in a bizarro world because I was under the impression they were already their forms when they tried to revive Makuta, and that they had been turned into that just by their elements being corrupted.
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that is the alternate one that I don't remember too much about actually. Now that you mention it, that does sound correct though. Like the elements were being corrupted. That was how they changed into their
the elements were being corrupted, and like that was a Let's revisit that then. We'll let me think about it. Which one makes more sense to what we're doing with the story and what we're like?
In one, we basically have them as their Matoran forms, and then they devolve into the Rakshi in one event, which I actually do kind of think makes a little less sense than them being a slow progression.
Because it implies that like Matoran evolved from Rahi, which they didn't.
Yeah,
not into evolution versus creationism, but in our
universe,
we
actually know.
And in our universe, we are God.
Well, I'm just no, that's fair. No, I mean like, and then Drago too, the same thing. We know God.
That's kind of a big oversight, actually. Now that I think about it, that's hilarious.
little bit.
Oh, the Mask of Time devolved them into Rahi, but didn't the brothers make them?
Evolution is a lie in our universe.
It's true. All right, no, I think that works then. So the thing about the canon thread is that
it also helps.
Everything
it helps
there.
take everything away from being tied directly to the Mask of Time, which I think might be a bit too much. You know, it's kind of like
I get you. Right, I like that. So like the discipline of the elements. So I guess like the different thing would be like these people, whoever is chosen, the more their element is corrupted, the more they turn into half Rafis, and that can happen to any Matoran.
Yeah, it's more of a general mutation kind of a sense.
Yeah,
kind of like the Hordika.
In a sense, yeah.
Well, yes, it does, and I was about to mention that actually works with a pitch that I think I can't remember how we felt about it originally, but I remember we talked about it briefly. It was like the Nuva forms that the Toa have. There's like a bestial sort of form first before they get into like the refined true form.
Or it could be like
remember that.
I don't remember that. I think it actually works better if there's like the Hordika are the evolution of the Rahi. Or the Rakshi, while the Toa get their Nuva form. So, like, if you purify your element, you get more powered in one direction. If you corrupt your element further, you get more corrupted in one direction.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's essentially the exact same idea.
Awesome. All right. Yeah. Cool.
All right. Next question. Are all the Dark Hunters Matoran / Matari, or are they a pan-elemental villain faction?
They are a pan-elemental villain faction. They are not all races, like, segregated, per se. You know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, I'm just saying that, like, it's not like all criminals are Motari, you know? It's like, you go there, anyone can go to that area, and then, like, be a thief, be a mercenary, be anything. Well, he does bring up the triple threat triad from Wonder to Korra. Yeah, it just basically it's like if it's depending on the actual character. If the person himself wants to do this, then they do it, no matter what element they have. All the elements are useful. The only one that probably doesn't have too many, there's not many Nahoans there because Naho is pretty segregated and they kind of like don't like people going out. So people that have left.
Did we really make the region of brown people the region with all the crime?
Oh god!
Lawless crime land.
It was because there was a desert and there was sandstorm. There's sandstorms and it lets you to get away with crimes easier. It's how you get away with murder.
That's what it is.
That's what it was.
It's skin color. It's weather color.
Racism.
Listen, I'm not confirming or denying anything, except I am denying racism.
Nice.
So, yes.
All right. Next question. How did Karzani make the Elysians inside prison?
Good question.
What?
The Elysians? Is that a name?
No, I think you talking about the lightning tribe.
Yeah, I think it's the lightning Matoran, I think.
I don't know. I don't know where the name Elysian came from, though.
To which you can say he didn't.
I think that came from the original mock that someone made. Like, I think it was called, like, Elise, or it's the city of Elise, or something like that.
Oh, yeah, Elysia? Maybe. Fair enough.
Yeah, something like that, maybe.
He didn't. He made them before.
No.
Wasn't their creation.
What was the question again?
How did he make them
in prison?
Inside prison?
To which I say, wasn't the lightning tribe being made when they had agreed no more tribes?
The lightning tribe was what sparked the war.
One of the things that led to Akimu and Makuta falling out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Karzani was imprisoned before that, though.
Was he?
What?
Yeah, because when they had the falling out, they don't know it's Karzani who caused it. That's why they're fighting each other. If they realize it's Karzani,
why would Karzani be imprisoned then?
He became insane. That's why he was put in prison in the first place. Okay, listen. If you're doing it this way, if Makuta and Ikimu think that each other have caused it, they fight each other, then Karzani's still around. Karzani has to be imprisoned also. So they have to imprison him before the lightning tribe gets out, because that's what caused a rift between them.
And I kind of
how would he make the Matoran?
I kind of presumed he'd made the Matoran before, and they were discovered later.
Yeah,
like they were in hiding, and like it looked like Akimu made them. Karzani kind of low key set up Akimu to take the fall.
I mean, I just don't really get why like the elemental gods couldn't have just imprisoned Karzani at the same time they imprisoned Makuta and Akimu. Why did these imprisonments need to be at different times?
It's fair.
Because I mean, it just kind of brings up more questions than it does answer it because of now you have to figure out how he was able to actually make the lightning Matoran. Versus before he just did it in secret, and the other brothers just didn't realize it.
So the Toa, the first Toa, are the people that also imprisoned Karzani as well.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, I hope that answered your question.
So, the answer is he didn't. He made them before.
Well,
the next question was...
I'm glad he asked it because it wasn't always clear beforehand. The last time
and the
we
next
talked about
one, how long before Akimu versus Makuta WWE Showdown of the Century was Karzani imprisoned? So there you go.
Yeah.
Is your answer for that? He must have made the Matoran before his brothers fought. Okay. Wait, there is another one. In a recent podcast, it was said that Karzani was imprisoned the same way Makuta was. However, on a previous podcast, it was said that he's simply isolated when he made the Matoran. And whenever Akimu and Makuta spied on him, he just looked like he was going insane. So he was imprisoned twice. I feel this area kind of needs some solidifying. It's not super clear.
Yeah, that makes sense because we tossed around several different ideas.
This is
about
future
Karzani.
stories, so there's a reason why it's kind of vague. It's because we're not...
Because we're not setting... Yeah, we're not dealing with it right now. So we want to set it up eventually, and we do want to put the hints there. If something happens.
All we need to know for now is that there was a lightning tribe.
Well, no, I think it's important that we do... It's important that we do talk about what was the premise behind... Karzani's lightning tribe and everything. So I would say he was not imprisoned twice. And this right now we'll have to update the story Bible on this. From what we just discussed, Karzani was imprisoned the same time as the as everyone else.
Brothers.
Yeah, the two brothers. So why don't the brothers think that Karzani did it? Like, why doesn't Makuta immediately think of Karzani?
Because Akimu's the god of creation, and it would make a lot more sense if he was the one that built.
Yeah, but like if Akimu says I didn't do it, and then he's like, what about our third brother? In the original thing, they were like, well, he can't be him because he's imprisoned. But now he's not imprisoned; he's just working in secret. So what is the rationale that Akimu gets around? Like, or why is the rationale for them to not immediately go and confront Karzani and be like, did you do this, bro? Is this you?
Well, I mean, I would imagine that the rationale was that they would eventually confront Karzani. It was a three-way battle, and hence why all three of them were ended up being defeated and imprisoned.
Right, but like why are Akimu and Makuta fighting then? If Karzani's also fighting.
I mean, they don't necessarily have to be fighting, per se. Like, that's what we know in terms of the lore of the story, but we also have a very unreliable recounting of what that was. So, like, we could think that they were fighting and that they were fighting against each other, but maybe they weren't. And maybe they were both against Karzani.
Interesting. And then, like, okay, that could have been... Yeah, actually, that makes a lot of sense. And then it's like, because the elemental gods used that opportunity to overthrow. And then that's the...
All right.
Okay.
Next question. So this one's interesting. I'll just summarize this. It's kind of long. People either keep forgetting the answer or don't find it satisfactory. How come the Rakshi do not freeze when they use the Mask of Time? It's an interesting question. I feel like at one point we did have an answer for it. I kind of forget what it was. So I will ask a counter question.
A long time ago, the reasoning was that this is back when the Nuva stones played a much bigger part in the story. Originally, the Nuva stones or the Nuva symbols were like the Toa's connection to the elements, and because they had no elemental powers, once the basically everyone, like the Mask of Time, would freeze everyone through the powers of the elements, right? And so everyone that had an elemental connection was frozen. This did not include our Matoran, who had no connection to the elements. They were then turned into Toa, and they went around and began to fight the Rakshi that way. And they didn't know that was why they were not frozen. That was originally how it worked. Now, fair enough. We have a bit of different thing going on, so let's talk through that.
I think kind of one easy way we could explain it is if we figured out concretely where the Rakshi are when they use the mask, because it could potentially be some kind of seal or whatever, some kind of isolated area that does not get affected.
I guess I mean I always assumed that they were like outside Makuta's tomb, his imprisonment or his prison. They were trying to undo it. But that doesn't really if it's sealed off from the effects of time, it kind of defeats the whole purpose of having the master to free Makuta.
A little bit. Why are the Toa not frozen? Is it still because they're not connected to the elements?
Right now it is, right.
Could it be the Rakshi, their connection to the elements has become so corrupted it almost works the same way? They've devolved, they've regressed so much. Maybe like they're almost inverse Toa. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I'm trying to think if that works. Does it work? I feel like it doesn't.
I mean, it works, but it's kind of a very disappointing way of answering the question.
Yeah.
It's one of those like, I mean, I guess so kind of answers.
If we have to choose between showing something new and cool or showing why something doesn't work, we're going to show something new and cool. No, I'm kidding. We're not going to do that. I'm paraphrasing Tommy Anderson's tweet. What we are going to try to do is think about. Let's come back to this question.
The counter theory proposed in this question is like, oh, I mean, if the people that are using the Mask of Time don't get frozen, that makes sense. I could buy that if it was just exactly. The other 5 would get wrecked.
Yeah, and it's like you could say like, oh, well, then he could just use it to reverse it for them, but clearly they can't control it because that's the whole reason why the explosion happens to begin with.
The only thing I could think of is that maybe there's like a radius, like it's not an explosion. He compares it to like, oh, people in the explosion center still get damaged, but like it's not. Maybe the radius emits from a little bit out, so they were huddled around it. I don't know. It's a tricky question. We'll have to give it some thought. You might have stumbled upon a really important plot hole we need to get ironed out.
Yeah,
so thank you for bringing this to our attention.
This is all right. Fair enough. Well, that's part of that's why we like the general questions are around for us to like remember what do we have not like nailed down in the story yet. What can we change? What can we like go around?
Yeah. Can we move on to the next one, or do you want to keep this?
Well, yeah, let's move on. If we have more time, we'll come back to it.
All right. If the Brotherhood of Makuta exists, would it stand to reason that a secret society that acts in the name of Akimu or the Toa would exist? Something like the Order of Momonui. This was discussed a while back. John, I think, didn't you want something like it?
I did want something like it. I do think the name Hand of Artaka has a much different context, giving the name of the island and what we're doing in this world. But that being said, it would be something that would be brought up in the second or third year. But
yeah,
makes sense. Yeah, it does make sense that like there's another secret society that acts in the name of Ikimu, or possibly it's just like another faction that's kind of like also aware of all the stuff that the Brotherhood of Makuta is doing. It does make sense that in this one island there would be another group of people working together. That's what does make sense to me.
Yeah, so it makes sense. I'm not sure if any of us are willing to actually commit that to canon yet.
Not yet.
Exactly. Not until we figure out a place in the story for them.
I would be much less on board with a secret society, and much more once we start getting into intergalactic threats or whatever, for the Hand of Artaka to be like the defense force that forms, almost like the Avengers. No, and that's what they call themselves when they go out to space. That'd just be, though. All right. Next one, they say, the Bible depicted concept art for an Ihuan who resembled a G3 version of Nuju. Perhaps Nuju acted as a grand vizier to Izator and his father Matora before him, in addition to serving the royal family. I mean, we didn't design that dude to look like Nuju. That was complete coincidence.
Sounds like
complete coincidence. What looks like a Nuju?
Some Matoran in the Bible.
Yeah, one of the one has the Mahiti.
Oh, okay. Yeah, complete coincidence.
Yeah,
he could be named the Nuju, but I hesitate to do that just in case we have need for a character
name for something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's not come into something right now. The Bible also, it's weird seeing the Bible also depicted concept art.
The Bible.
Like the Bible, you know, it's like, oh, what? Oh, yeah, right. The story Bible. Right.
See, the Bible here talks about how Akimu created the Matoran, and clearly they can't devolve into Rahi, because here it clearly states.
I mean, listen, theistic evolution, it's a thing. Would it be okay to mock up stuff or scenes around the Civil War or possibly set during the war?
Yes, please.
Because even the basic war are barely written. Yes, please. If you're gonna mock up some stuff,
keep in mind that we haven't touched upon the war yet. Once we actually get to it, it's very likely that a lot of concepts and ideas you might have developed at this stage in time would end up being decanonized. So,
but it depends on specifics, right? Like, so if you are specifically wanting, like, I want to have Taku and I want to have Pohati and they're fighting, that might get written out. If you are like, I want to build this giant Rahi that the Motarans have, and this is another thing that the Mangaians have, then it's like, okay, that's probably
here's what I'll say.
The more
as a general rule of thumb, if you have Toa participate in your set pieces or scenes, it's less likely to get canonized because we might do stuff with the Toa. If it's just Matoran tribes fighting, it might actually end up being canonized, maybe. Simply because there will be tons of battles in the Civil War, you know what I mean?
I mean, like,
part of it
it's
would
also
still be canonized, though. Like even if you made a set with Tahu, it would be like, well, this Tahu versus Pohati thing, that might not happen. But this this great giant crab you built that's gonna fight, you know, the war elephant from the Mangaians, that's okay.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it might end up being canon, it might not. We just haven't gotten there yet. So just keep that in mind if you're actually going to be developing things for year 2. That plot line hasn't been fully developed, and it's very likely that you might end up wasting your time. Just your mileage may vary depending on what your concept is and how far we go into that stage.
Yes,
so,
right.
Just want to make sure that's clear before you go into it. But yes, you're totally free to do that.
Do the Mangaian Taraga usually have a figure akin to an advisor, Grand Vizier, or perhaps, since they're a militaristic society, maybe a centurion or a brigadier?
There are people involved in that military. Yeah, they have centurions, but I don't know what they're talking about. I think they're asking if there's something like Taraga. Do the Mangaian have a figure akin to an advisor, Grand Vizier, or something?
I would say they do not. They do not have a single entity that is considered the advisor character or the wise elder or the person that you all look up to. There's
a council
of people.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's the highest you go.
Has the island been fully explored and mapped? I'm not sure if they're talking like in universe or ours planning.
And I would say in universe, it's been fully mapped, not fully explored. Obviously, in the same way that not everywhere in America or Canada has been fully explored, but we've mapped it out pretty well. We kind of know the borders, and we know like around things. We don't know any individuals.
I would say the answer is actually no. I would say that the island itself, like the border, like the surrounding area, we know we're on an island, right? We know the shape of the island. We know where the regions are. We do not know every single location that's in this island or on this island or hidden. So, yeah, there are definitely places that have not been mapped. There are definitely places that are hidden, that are secret, that most of the
even most of Naho is not mapped, except by Nahoans. Very few people go in and out of that region. So.
Yeah. So, yeah, the answer would be no.
Were there expeditions similar to the Around the World in 80 Days and 5 Weeks in the Balloon? There were things done, I would assume, in history by cartographers, map makers, and chroniclers, but nothing notable in the story right now. But that being said, I mean, like, obviously they have a map of the island. Like when they're looking, there's a war room. They have a general map of the regions and the entrances and exits and that kind of thing. But it is not.
This place has existed for years. So
right.
Generations. Yeah. They've had time to explore. They know what the island looks like. They know where the regions are. There are just certain places that are hidden. Like Makuta's
I would say that
tomb,
by this
for
time
instance.
there was an expedition to go around the island. Yes, someone did do that in the 1,000 or so years it's been around.
Yeah.
How is history recorded and stored in the archive in Tiro? Did you use paper or carved stone tablets? Did you use paper? Is it bound like a book or rolled like scrolls?
Personally, I'd say Tiro would be the only tribe to use paper. But that's just a me thing.
I think they would use paper because paper does come from reeds that is grown. So that makes a lot of sense that they would have a lot of paper and know how to read and write and do that kind of thing. I will say that they also would carve some stuff on stone tablets that needs to be archived. So think of it as like paper is stuff they write down on, and if it really is important, they also carve it on the stone tablets so that it will be preserved. Part of the archive is preserving something for the ages. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
last question's a riot. Do fire spitters actually spit fire? I'd certainly hope so.
Yes, they do.
I would really hope so.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They breathe fire. It's like a flamethrower coming out of their mouths.
All right. That's all for the questions. We totally answered every single one of them satisfactorily. Every single one. No plot holes. In all honesty, thank you for the Rakshi thing. Last time Rakshi freezing. We're going to think on that and hopefully present a satisfying answer soon.
Hopefully.
Let's go ahead and wrap this, I think.
So that's going to wrap up this episode of Brainstorm. Thank you guys for joining us. Hope you guys had fun. Hope we answered some questions. Hope you guys got some cool mocks and stuff. If you have any other ideas, maybe you have an idea for how to fix this plot hole. Maybe you've got some mocks you want to share. Feel free to head over to the message boards at board.tvchannel.com. Go to the BrickFeed section, and you can post anything there that you want to maybe have it possibly be featured on the next episode of Brainstorm. While you're at it, head over to our Patreon if you want to join our live studio audience and chat on our Patreon chat, the chat that shows up in the video there. If you guys are interested in that, you can donate $1 a month. It's patreon.com/the TTV channel. Helps us keep on making shows like this one. But that's going to basically wrap up this episode, guys. I'm Var.
I'm Meso.
I'm John.
And this has been Brainstorm. We'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Trying not to kick those Naldos too hard.
Don't kick the Naldo.
Oof, right in the nullos.
Right in the Naldos.